Speech Pitch by Iska Sak.
Welcome to Speech Pitch by Iska Sak. I'm Spyretta Leivaditi, and today I have with me Luis Tenpos from Radboud University. Hi, Luis.
Hi.
Would you like to introduce yourself to our audience, like who you are and your main research interests?
Sure. I have been working in the field for a long time. I started in Leiden University in Holland with mathematics. And after my master's, I moved to phonetics by doing a PhD in Amsterdam. And the PhD was aimed at looking at structure in audio. So the structural question was interesting because I could use my mathematical background, and I was learning about linguistics and phonetics. Since then I moved to Eindhoven, and after that to Brussels, and then to Nijmegen. And my focus over the last 2 decades was primarily the computational modeling of what listeners are doing while they listen. So what you are doing right now. So in your head you have a sort of dictionary with words.
Yes.
And your ears perceive audio. And the audio is unfolding over time. So words are not directly available, but it takes time for the words to be available, to become available. So that then there is a complex transformation in the ear. Then the neural signal is migrated to the brain. And then in the brain, we do activation of words and competition and selection. And then we decide which words has been spoken, and then you retrieve the semantics. So it's a long, enormous pipeline of processes. And even we don't know all the details right now after so many decades of research. But it's very interesting still how that works and how we can cook words out of the audio stream.
You made me start thinking, and what plays a role in order on how you interpret and how you perceive the things that you're listening to, and if the culture is something that may affect also your perception.
Yeah, that's a nice question. There are many factors influencing what we perceive and what we really perceive. So maybe you know the McGurk effect and all these multimodal effects on speech perception. But we know that now we have the discussion between the two of us. But what we say is how you interpret what I say is depending on the situation,
yes,
on the grounding.
Yes.
We are now at the Interspeech conference, so we have a context, and everything helps to interpret speech. So it's certainly not a single bottom-up process. And another thing that we did in Nijmegen was trying to understand how babies learn language. So starting from zero.
Yes.
Almost zero. And then the question is where the words come from. So suppose you have hours and hours of audio without segmentation, without transcription. Can you find words as repeating patterns in the audio stream?
Yeah, I have done a little bit of language acquisition many years ago, and I was very surprised when I heard that babies can listen to the patterns, the waveforms that their parents do. They can listen from their mother's tummy, and they interact to the same sound when they actually are born. That there have been research on newborns, on hours that they were born, and they are interacting to the same story that they were listening through their belly. That was amazing.
Yeah. Indeed. In the womb, there's a lot of pre-birth perception.
Yeah.
So primarily pitch and rhythm, and also the mother's voice is clearly audible in the womb.
And how you understand your mother tongue over other languages at that age?
Yeah, Pascal, and she did a lot of work about what happens in the first year, and she has discovered that at a certain age, babies get adapted to human speech, the general speech sounds inventories, and in the second half year of your first year, you are tuning in
Yes.
into your mother tongue.
Yes.
And
I think the moment was like 8 or 9 months,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken.
that's critical, yeah.
Yes, that's
So-
a critical moment.
Yeah, indeed, yeah. So at a certain moment, say if you are 1 year old, you're for sure, you're absolutely tuned into your mother tongue. And so, yeah, you're not neutral anymore.
Yes, yes.
But so that's about the words and the segments and the speech sounds. So before birth, you already were exposed to rhythms and pitch.
Yeah.
Like if you swim underwater in the swimming pool,
Yeah.
that kind of sound.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. It's funny because I remember, it's funny to me, remember like 10 years ago when I was at school, I had a philosophy class and I remember my professor telling me, people are tabula rasa.
Yeah.
And I was like the only one who was like, no, they're not.
No.
Just because of
Yeah.
what I learned in language acquisition. I never accepted that sentence as true in
Yeah.
my head.
Yeah, some people say if you go to a yoga class, then you might hear, or a Zen session or something, you might hear relaxing musical sounds, like very soft, very slow rhythms and so on. It might be that we are all still tuned into the old rhythms that we perceived before birth.
Yeah.
Might be. Heartbeats, like things.
Yeah, we went to a very different direction. I had in my mind to ask you more about also one of the papers that you had here
well,
today.
Go ahead if you like.
Yeah, one of your papers this year is evaluating the usefulness of non-diagnostic speech data for developing Parkinson's disease classifier.
Yeah.
Could you give us a brief overview of this paper?
Yeah, the big question is how far we can get by looking at the audio signal in order to detect early warnings of Parkinson or Parkinsonisms and Alzheimer and COPD and so all these things. So over the last 3 years, there's a huge tendency to go into the medical domain and to see how far we can get using the audio as a sort of biosignal. And the paper is exploring possibilities in that direction. That means it's quite technical, but still, you record a lot of audio, and then you ask yourself, how far can we get using this particular algorithm or this particular algorithm, and what is to what extent does it make sense to go in that direction?
Yeah.
So the idea is that some of the neurodegenerative diseases have an impact on the muscle activation,
Yes.
or the health rhythms and so on, and the pitch. So in the end, these diseases have their impact on the liveliness, how to say, and the spontaneousness of the speech signal. So, yeah, some people say, yeah, it must be in the audio signal at some moment. And some experts in the hospital, they say, they claim they can hear whether a patient is developing problems in the Parkinson direction from their audio, by speaking slowly and speaking monotonously. However, yeah, some other people, they have still their doubts, because a colleague of mine, she's working with patients and she doesn't hear anything. So it's a matter of...
A matter of perception again, I think.
Yeah, that's certainly... and interpretation.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. But the paper is showing certain convincing directions.
Yes.
And so we will see. Yeah.
I was curious about it because I also saw that you used like a type of data set, a turn talking data set. So I guess it's conversational data set.
Yeah. But patients were asked also to pronounce a stable A and to pronounce individual words and to say something. Okay. So the people can use all these three.
And which data set characteristics impacted the Parkinson's disease classification more, according to your paper or your research?
Yeah, that is about the spontaneous speech, and the speaking rate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and the pitch,
Great.
So it depends on the disease. So when it comes to Alzheimer, people might develop word finds word finding problems earlier than in Parkinson, and maybe even not at all in Parkinson. So then you see the relation between pausing and low frequency words. Huh?
Yes. Didn't your data set have like data from different severity levels of Parkinson?
Yeah.
Did it play a much role? Or, by the way, you said like it is a classification task, so you were classifying if it is Parkinson or not, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. But it has nothing to do with the severity or anything.
No, we decided to scale down because the severity levels there are 4.
Mm-hmm.
That's too difficult for the classifiers as they are now.
I like that, as they are now.
Yeah. So we had to scale down, and the problem there is that if you make it binary, then it's yes or no. Huh? So that is a sort of issue. But security is playing a role because, as we all know, the protection of IDs in audio is a big thing. And so we have been looking at taking away the ID from the speaker, from the audio signal, in order to, while preserving the problems.
Yes.
And this is a field that is now booming as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
I noticed this year you were also a member of the technical committee of Interspeech. What task does a position like this entails? Were there challenges or hilarious moments?
Oh, we were involved in the satellite workshops. So Esther and I were coordinating the satellite workshops of Interspeech. That means people sent in their proposal, typically in December or January, and we have to check whether they agree, whether they meet all the ISCA constraints, and whether they have their own planning and their own organization and their own financial structure. And then there was a lot of negotiation. And the most important thing that we learned is that people they read the text very poorly. So if you have a clear text on the internet, there are many questions about the text by mail, and I think we had to refer to the internet text more than 10 times.
Was there something that inspired you during Interspeech 2025?
Yeah, because it was here in the Netherlands, and we know each other. Mm-hmm. So it's a small group in the end, and so of course we were asked to join, and we could fill in a table, and set some crosses somewhere in some table, and the people had their job. I think over 50 people are involved in total.
Yeah.
And there are so many committees, and there's so much to do. Yeah, this is tremendous.
Okay, one last question, a fun question. How does Luis likes to spend his Interspeech days? What do you like to do during Interspeech?
You mean during Interspeech?
Yes.
Oh, that's a mix of talking to people I know for a long time, sometimes, and I also like interacting at posters, because usually young people, they in the beginning of their research, and it's always interesting to hear them talking about what they inspire. So that's the fun part. Yeah. And maybe this interview is also a fun part.
Yeah, thank you, because we are very happy as a group to bring people like you, but also younger researchers, bring them to the spotlight, give them a safe space where they can share their ideas, maybe their experience, how they feel, how they can navigate big conferences like this. Yeah. So it's nice that I hear that you're having fun here with us.
Thank you. Yeah.
That was all. I hope you enjoyed the time.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to this bonus episode. We may be interviewing your favorite speech researchers in the future, so be sure to subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast. You can also follow the ISCA-SAC on X and LinkedIn to stay updated. Till then, have fun.
Speech pitch by ISCA-SAC.